Madam President of the European Parliament, of the European Commission, and first of all I want to thank you for changing your agenda and being today here with us. Commission President, Council, dear colleagues, 2000 years ago Tacitus said, "They make desert and call it peace." That is today Putin's concept. He failed to take Kiev years ago, and since then he has left death and destruction. Hundreds of children have been killed, more than 5 million refugees, war crimes in Bucha. Putin, dear colleagues, is a war criminal, and if a war criminal is not stopped, he will continue. The so-called peace plan was seen as a confirmation of Putin's plan, I have to say. And let me be clear, for us as EPP, this is unacceptable. No, a war criminal cannot be awarded for his terror. So giving up on Ukraine territory, on free Ukraine territory, is unacceptable. No, a war criminal cannot be awarded for this terror. So accepting any kind of amnesty for Russian war criminals is unacceptable. And no, a war criminal cannot be awarded for his terror. Allowing limits for independent Ukraine to choose their partners is unacceptable. And I want to thank our European leaders for their clear and firm reaction after a minute of thinking about it. I have to say, yes, everybody wants peace, but it must be just peace. Yes, everybody wants peace, but it must be sustainable peace. And yes, everybody wants peace, but not on the Russian conditions. The outcome of the Geneva talks look now much better. And I want to thank Ursula von der Leyen for representing the European voice on the table. I ask myself, what is Putin thinking in this moment of time? He's sitting in Kremlin and probably a little bit laughing on us. Why? Because the US-European axis was over the last days in a quite chaotic situation. The European Union without a clear plan to finance Ukraine, and also the European Union without the US really seen as a reliable partner anymore. We are experiencing historic times. Things are fundamentally changing. And Trump made also clear in these last days that the US will not anymore guarantee lasting peace in Europe under all conditions. He is seen himself more as a moderator and not as a person who is clearly positioning himself. We as Europeans are alone in a very cold world. And having all this in mind, I ask myself, which Europe do we really need? Which Europe would be capable to answer this weekend's challenges? For example, who speaks on behalf of Europe? I saw that the G3 was meeting. Germany, France, Great Britain. I respect all of these nations. But I have to say, that's not my Europe when they speak. That's not my Europe. Ursula von der Leyen, the Commission President, nominated by all leaders, by all nations, and also had a clear mandate in this European chamber, freely elected European Parliament, is for me the Speaker of this European Union. And that's why we have to strengthen her role, to have a real European voice there. The second question, how can Europe finance the issues on the table? We have currently, to be honest, no clear idea how to finance the needs of Ukraine. 140 billion euros for the next upcoming 2 years. Frozen assets, additional debt. We are not really ready. And we have no real clear answer in this moment of time. So stop complaining about the US and delivering. We need sufficient MFF and financial resources for defending our European interests. And we have a third question on the table. Can we defend ourselves? With the new NATO targets, Europe will spend 900 billion euros a year to defend itself if we achieve the NATO targets. The same amount of money as the US is spending. And our citizens rightly expect the same level of security on the long run. And that's why it's now the moment to really go for European defence pillar. Drones war, satellite surveillance, missile defence system, cyber brigade. Dear colleagues, we need to work towards a united European army on the long run. Years of war teach us we can't guarantee peace if we do not show we are not ready to prepare our defence capabilities. And that is not a dream. That was already a starting point decades ago when Adenauer, de Gasperi, Schuman worked on this. With the idea after the Second World War, no war in Europe again. And dear colleagues, nothing is more actual than this message. No war in Europe, only if we prepare ourselves. So strengthening national armies is a good thing, but not enough. Europe needs real determination. The determination that reunited Europe just 7 years after the Second World War, the determination that made the euro the second strongest currency in the world, and the determination that Ukrainian friends show every day when they tell Putin, we will not take our European way of life away from us. That's why we have to stand on the side of Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I give the floor to the S&D Group and its chair, Irache Garcia Perez.